Hi, I'm Becky.
And I'm Lindsay, and today we're here to talk about what to share and what not to share. And we're not just talking about our personal lives, because that would be a whole different video.
Oh, that would be so wrong. That would be so wrong.
That might make you switch off really quick. But no, we're here to share about that kind of, as people who work with educating others, you have to have so much knowledge in your head, and there's this overwhelming feeling that you have to know it all, which yes, you do have to have reserve after reserve after reserve of knowledge in there, but that doesn't mean you have to give it all out.
Like, because when you have all that knowledge, you think, oh, I need to justify my knowledge, and I need to justify why I'm charging this, or I need to justify why I'm good at this. So you impart as much knowledge to show that you know what you're talking about. It's not necessarily a good thing.
No, it actually creates a lack of interest and a lack of engagement, and people switching off, because our job's there to facilitate others to gain that knowledge and have that thirst, and you're there to sow a seed, to water, to nurture, to grow, signpost,
lead, ask those questions that's going to get them thinking. It's great fun when it happens. It really is. Sometimes you need to actually give them some information, because not everyone needs to get information from somewhere, and sometimes it is our role to do that. That's kind of, I've read somewhere, sorry, it is a digress, it's not. I read somewhere about teaching, mentoring, and coaching, in the differences between the three.
Them.
So in teaching, you are imparting knowledge, but you can't impart it all. You can't be in a teacher mode constantly. The student is going to switch off. As a mentor, what you do is you help them solve their problems, and sometimes that's working with them to find the solutions. And then as a coach, you sit right back and you just ask the questions, and you ask questions to help them get there. You don't impart any information.
And it's really funny, so we came up with this idea of this discussion whilst we were in a training and a presentation, where we had somebody just talking at us about what you needed to do, and you need to do this, 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 and this works because I know it works because I've done it, so then that's the way. And you just felt the whole audience just switch off. And this was a massive audience.
And it was a massive speaker.
But you just watched people switch out and switch off, because he was just regurgitating all his knowledge. He wasn't sharing it in a way that we could then think about how we put it into practice ourselves, or how we could adapt it to what we do. And it was interesting. I was in Art Squad last night. I haven't told you this yet. And we were chatting about different things, and while we were doing the art, I was giving some little tips and doing more coaching to this young lady about life skills. And one of the other members in Art Squad turned around and went, "Lindsay, I think as a hobby you just like to help people, don't you?" And I went, "What?" And she goes, "Well, you're always offering little tips and little ideas, and then you let us go with it." And she was only 10, and I was like, it was so lovely. But it is that power to, I'm not sitting there going, you need to do this, you need to that. You're offering advice and guidance, and you're unlocking that door to help people do it. So we love filling our brains with knowledge all the time.
Yeah, completely.
But we don't have to share that with everybody. Sometimes we geek out a little bit and we sit down and share it with each other and get overexcited, and that's great as well.
And it depends who you're working with. I have a student every couple of weeks who I can geek out about this because of what her background is, what she does, what she wants out of the lessons. She wants to work, but she wants to understand the why behind it, and she wants to get that.
And that's the key. It's what the people want out of the lessons.
Oh yeah.
And out of the sessions is what knowledge you need to let out, and how much knowledge you need to let out, and how you let that knowledge out, and then how they engage in that knowledge as well. Otherwise it goes back to the master apprentice approach,
very much so,
that we spoke about months ago.
And it is, you do it my way and you do as I do. But you've got to think also about just how the brain is working. Our brains do act like sponges at times, and they do like information. But our brains also need to know what to do with that information. And if you're just giving info and info and info and info, and don't let anyone have any time to process it, whether it's doing a task where they can apply it, or just some time to sit back and reflect, they're going to switch off, because you can't cope with anymore. The brain goes, no, I'm too tired.
And then equally, I've been on the other hand where you've spoke to professionals and they'll be like, "Well, I just don't understand because I've told them it so many times." Just because you've shared your knowledge doesn't mean that they've understood it.
Yeah.
And that's another That's a massive problem. And I was in a meeting the other day with a very vulnerable young lady who is amazing. And in there they were saying, we've told them this all the time. They know, we've gone through all this. You might have told them, but it doesn't mean that they've processed it, because of what they need cognitively to be able to process it is different to you and I. So,
and you've got to see where their bias is coming from. So last night I was an hour and a half. I haven't told you this. Yeah, I wanted to cry and scream last night. I was talking to some tech support, trying to sort something out on some software that we use. An hour and a half. 10:30 I started, midnight. It was gone midnight when I finished, and it hadn't been resolved. And I think I explained the problem in 10, 20 different ways, going, it's because of this, and I tried describing it in different ways. But because at their end and their mindset, the issue is a sync issue between one piece of software and another piece of software. And I was desperately trying to get that point across, that the issue was from this end going to that end. But she could not understand it, because she works at that end. She was going, the problem's here. And I'm going, no, the problem's over here, but you need to sort it. And she kept coming back up to this problem over there. And that hurt my head, because I lost track on how to do that. And in the end, I just went, I'm really sorry. I'm really frustrated, and I'm sorry that I'm taking this out on you, because I was trying to be so nice. But it's like, it's gone midnight over here, because I think she's over in the States. I went, I'm really shattered. Can we just call it? Can we raise a ticket, and can we come back to it? Because I know if I speak to someone else, there'll be a different perspective, and then you might get the answer that I need. Or they'll be able to point me in a different way, because everyone looks and takes on information and looks at problem solving in different ways.
So I think sometimes as well, we can get frustrated when the people that we're working with don't understand, and we often have conversations going, am I speaking a different language? I think, can you read my email? Because I think I asked for this and I've got this back as well, like silly things. But it's nobody's fault in that situation. It's actually just looking at it objectively and needing to approach it in a different way. So you can fill yourself with all the knowledge, you can fill yourself with all the answers, but you haven't just got to just splurge it all out. You've got to think about how you give your knowledge out, how you share it, how you chunk it.
But is it relevant?
And is it relevant
is it
to
needed?
Their world, and is it needed? Because if you overload, we're slightly in overload mode today. I don't know if you can tell. But you don't want to overload. You want to sow that seed, and the magic happens when they unlock the knowledge for themselves.
That is the most thing, and it's all about playing. It's about getting them to experiment. You give them the tips and the tricks. Get them to explore, get them to experiment, get them to vocalise and explain how it is to them. And oh my gosh, that's when the magic happens.
Yeah. So top tips. Keep being thirsty for knowledge. Knowledge is a wonderful thing. Learning new skills, evolving and everything is amazing. Keep going out there and finding it. But make sure you've got enough knowledge to then be objective about how you share it. Not just that little bit of knowledge thinks you knows it all. Make sure you read around. Then when you are sharing it, think of what you're sharing. Does it all need to be shared? And how are you sharing it?
Yeah. Think about the person in front. We're back to being all about the person. What do they need to know? What do they want to know? What is it that they want help with? Because it could be that the knowledge you have will help inform their answers and the results, but they don't need to know that bit of knowledge at all.
And we're talking about this very much from a coaching point of view, from a teaching, arts, interaction. But this process can be applied to life as well. Just by having conversation with your kids at home, or your partner, or a parent, or a relative, or a friend. It is that, just think about the process and the audience.
And if you're talking to someone, make sure they know the context. If we are talking about communication and life skills, also don't get frustrated if they don't understand it. It's not that they aren't getting it. You've not found that balance in that place where you can both be at it at the same angle. It could be that one of you's here, one of you's here. We've had massive conversations where we were thinking we were at loggerheads with each other, and then we went about 5-10 minutes down the line, we went, hang on, where are you at? And we realised that we were talking like this, but not. We thought we were. One of us was up here, one of us was down here, and because we were talking, we were never going to meet.
And we were just going round and round and round. But then all of a sudden we took a step away, not with offence to each other, not with taking it, because it's like, no, hang on, we've got to figure this out. And then we did, and went,
well, you're talking about that, I'm talking about this. Yeah, that's why we're not getting anywhere with it at all.
So yeah, give it a go and tune in next time to see how see how we've got on with it all.
Yeah. See you later.